really enjoyed talking about this though.
Alright, so let's move on to something else.
Right.
Okay, so it's still on family matters. And there comes a time in life where children, this is not about children going abroad now to study. This is about children craving independence at home here, within the country, and feeling like they're ready to make their own decisions without interference from their parents, and in most cases, choosing to move out. Now, I'm looking to answer this all too popular question: at what age should children move out of their parents' houses? Now, putting this into perspective is a trending story of how a 27-year-old man, this is very unfortunate, killed his father for asking to know the reason why he was still asleep early in the morning. Really, really, really unfortunate, but let's take a look at this post. Well, I'm just going to first of all start by saying that may we not see evil in Jesus' name.
Amen.
This is
Or in the name of anything you believe and hold dear.
Yes, please. But this is quite unfortunate, and that's why I'm saying a prayer right before I move into the story. But first of all, we must acknowledge that sometimes there's a power tussle that exists between young adults and their parents when they still live under their roofs, or especially when we're talking about adult children, for example.
Yeah.
Yes, children of the parents but are well, grown or advanced in age, still living with their parents. There seems to be some form of power tussle. I'm old enough to make my own decisions. Well, but you're under my roof, all of
it's in my food.
all of that. But I'm grown, but I'm still feeding you, So there's all of that, But what do you think of the power tussle that exists between, basically young adults and their parents?
I'll just go first
Okay,
because I feel like it doesn't need to exist. Do you understand? The moment you feel like, why is this person controlling me? Why does this person feel like they have a say in my life? That's the moment you need to start thinking, why am I under their roof? Why do I still come back home and say, mommy, did you cook anything? Or is there something in the fridge? Or, you need to call yourself. So if you were so independent, why do you need such help? Why are you so dependent on your parents? So there's a reason you are still in that house. It's because there are things that your parents still do for you that you can't do by yourself, no matter how old you are. So now your age is not a factor, in my opinion. If you still live under your parents for one reason or another, you understand, you need to live by their rules, their house, their rules. Simple.
Yeah, to add to what Tiny said, I was reading this book by Bishop T.D. Jakes. The book is titled Knowing When to Let Go. It's actually a book for parents. Now, in that book, he was trying to explain, what the stages of parenting, knowing when a child becomes an adult, even if the child is still under your roof, how the relationship have to, evolve from father-son to father and friend, or friend to friend,
or man to man.
Or man to man. The way you used to talk to your son when he was probably 14 years old shouldn't actually be the way you're talking to the same person when he's like 22 or 24. Probably the tone has to change. Yeah. The language has to change.
Yes.
Now you're talking to somebody who is an adult. Yeah, that is on one side. Speaking of the power tussle, just like Tiny rightly said, the issue of power tussle shouldn't come to play.
Yeah.
Right? First of all, if you know you're an adult, you have come of age, right? Nobody should tell you what to do, when to do. You should be out there, fending for yourself and all that. But on the flip side, there are parents I know personally who are the reasons why their adult children are still living
home
with them. Yeah, they tell them, there's a big house, the house is going to be empty. Why are you going off to go and rent your own apartment?
For a company.
I even know a girl, like they are my neighbors, and she's like 25. She works in a multinational company. They have this very big house. Her siblings are abroad. But the father doesn't want her to move out of the house. So the other day she was in Abuja for a few weeks. She came back. The mom was running everywhere. I'm going to get my daughter back. I'm going to the airport to go and parent. Then don't fall down. Just send the driver. He was super excited. But on the other hand, he would always tell me that this girl always wants to go out. On Saturday, she doesn't stay in the house. On Sunday, she doesn't stay in the house. And I'm like, okay.
Well, using this story
Isn't it
as a
issue?
case study now for me, I would say the word power tussle doesn't even have to exist for a child that was well trained, first of all. Yeah, because even if you stay in your parents' house till 30, there's some people that, like Maggie said now, if you're still there. I know of someone who still stays with his parents, but you can never hear any problem or so. He was well trained, and he understands that, okay, I'm supposed to leave them, but hey, I'm still under my parents' roof, right? It's their house, by the way. And
Even though I can
he's
provide
my
for
father,
myself,
right? She's my mom, so I can't talk to them anyhow and all that. So, look, using the story as a reference point, I think that boy wasn't well trained. He's not even groomed in.
They're saying something
Lack
about
of
being in a
training.
cult, you know, the speculation.
Exactly. He wasn't well trained, number one, and there was no I don't know the religion they are practicing anyway, but I think every religion has its moralities, right? It was not groomed. As a Christian, you respect your
there's
parents.
no you and you refuse
There's
to
no
be
foundation.
groomed.
You refuse to be groomed.
Because my parents can only do so much.
Okay, so at this point, I want to hear what Mrs. Reggie has to say about this. Do you think that, what do you think of the part also basically that exists, you know, with an adult child living within their parents' roof, living under their parents' roof, in their parents' home?
Okay, as a parent, you don't get tired of your children living with you. You want to keep them close to you for as long as you can.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but like Maggie said, that when the young lady comes home, the father is always saying she's going out. You know, when I was growing up too, my father used to complain, "You're always going out." I was like, "Is in the house the man I want to marry will come and meet." I used to think it, so I didn't say it. That I need to go. I just need to know where I'm going to know the kind of person I want to attract myself. So for children, for guys, it's easy to, you know, of course, that's the way they start their family by leaving the house, renting their own apartment, starting to stock up on whatever they will be needing.
To put the house
Yes, to put the house, to prepare the house for the lady that will be coming in. Then for the ladies, we like to hold on to the very last. You are a girl, don't go out in the night. Oh, no, it's not safe. We tend to be overzealous. Overprotective about our daughters. At what age? Well, I don't know. But like Tiny said, if you think you don't like your parents begin to caution you on certain things, you feel you're old enough to make decisions, then maybe you should begin to think about it. But it's not something you just rush into. You talk to them about it. Daddy, mommy, what do you think if I want to move out? Will it be okay for you? Because you may also be meeting certain needs in the house for them.
True.
That nobody will do when you're gone. Like putting on the generator, keeping the cars warm, you know, just things like that. So it has to be a two-way thing. But like Mary rightly said, they are your parents. Respect is very important. No matter how high you go in life, you can't have the experience your parents had while they were like you.
Okay, I completely agree. And what I have to say is sort of similar. I know the position a parent has in the life of a child. I think it's important to also to make sure that honor and respect is not taken away, regardless of age. Right. But one thing I know is that most times you see when the children start to get older and start to have a mind of their own, I think there should also be a balance, just as Maggie said. There should be that balance. Yes, they're living under your roof, you know, they're helping meet some needs. That's the reality. They're not just going to be there.
That's actually why you even live
there. So apart from the company that they're keeping, because I know that as parents start to age, they want people around. Exactly. So it's not like younger people that have, you know, people at work, they have people from school. Community, you know, is very important as people age. So sometimes having your children closer might be the closest people to you as you start to age. You need them around. That company is very important. You know, just like the example you gave about a man in a very big house. You know, as if the daughter is working in the same city that he works, especially because she's female, he may feel there's no need for her to go and spend money paying rent somewhere else when there's enough space within that same city for her to, live. So for me, I just think at the end of the day, there should be balance. Okay. The child should give honor and respect to the parent, but the parent also should remember that just as I'm an adult, so also is now my child, and so there should be changes with how that child.
I must really appreciate Maggie for bringing that up, because that's another perspective to see it. As much as this story is sad, the angle that we're taking it from, it's actually very sad, and that I feel like that's why we've attacked it this way, saying, oh, okay, you don't have any, as much as you're an adult, you need to still succumb to your parents and all. Putting that out there in general now, that parents, when a child is 3 years old, you're like, she'll go inside or go and do this, but then your child is now 23. You can't talk to that child like that, or 24. I really appreciate you for putting that out there.
And I think I'm going to also say that let's not forget the economic condition of the country. It's one of the reasons that we delay moving out. In other civilized countries or in other Western, let me use the word Western.
It's a lot easier.
In the Western world, it's a lot easier. The
living is
provided. Social amenities are available. Opportunities for working right after graduation are more available. But in this country, in this part of the world,
please say Lagos, Gabby.
I'm going to say this country. Nigeria. No, I'm going to say the country. The country in general, accommodation is expensive in some cities in the country, and also we also have the economic situation. Some people don't get jobs. Unemployment, is a big deal. So you have people 3 years after graduation, they don't have any job. It doesn't mean that they're not old enough to move out. So I want to ask, this question: at what age is a child supposed to move out? And what criteria should be met before the child moves out? Also, I'd like us to talk about, does it mean that when they move out, the parents have no right over them anymore? How much right do the parents have after the children have moved out? Let me just start from you, Maggie.
Okay, your parents have, personally, I'm going to speak for myself. My parents have right over me till whenever, however, right? Okay. That being said, it's also worthy to note that I think the longest I've lived with my parents, I think I've said it here, was probably when I was born till I was like 9, when I went off to the boarding school.
Wow.
Right? From the boarding school to the university, from university to NYSC, from NYSC to one city to the other.
And a stretch.
And I am here now. So I've basically lived my entire adult life on my own. But I still go home. I still visit my parents. Although after my NYSC, I think I went home. I stayed for like a whole year and some more. But then I could see the way my mom was always hovering around. So I was like, calm down. You should have done this when I was like younger. When I was in SS1. Don't relax. All that, it's over. So as for that right, they're always going to have it. Now, what are the criteria to know that, okay, you can now move out on your own? First of all, if you as a young person is not able to be responsible for yourself yet to a certain extent, right? Make some sound decisions. When I say responsible, I'm not just talking about financially. Make some sound decisions. The kind of company you keep. Remember, your parents are watching. Even though I've been like in different cities from my parents, they always know. And the way they brought me up, it's always at the back of my head. Yeah. There's some kind of, company I don't keep. There's some kind of people I don't go out with. So in that case, until you're able to pattern your life that way, you are not yet, even if you are 30, you are not yet wherever say, okay, I'm going to go, because you are like a time bomb waiting to happen. You're going to destroy yourself, basically.
Okay, so I just want us to do this really, really quickly. I think we can establish the fact that it's not about age now. It's about meeting certain criteria of showing that you're independent. So I just want you to tell
mature.
Me, mature enough. Maturity doesn't always have to be with age. So please tell me, what do you think the criteria are, and what level of control do you think the parent can now have over the child after the child has moved out?
Maggie already said it.
Okay, you agree?
Yeah, I agree totally with what she has. It's not, well, for me, it's not something that you should debate about. Okay. Also, because it's clear. If you're not matured enough mentally, what are you going to do outside? You will run back home to come and eat.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
Like the prodigal son. I don't see why you've left the house, you moved out of the house, you could still call your mom, I don't have money.
Send me food.
Will you go back to your
and talking like the typical Nigerian child. once you are finished NYC, get out. Yeah, you should get a job after NYC. But that's why I said talking like a typical Nigerian.
That's why I pointed out
person.
the economic conditions that the country.
Well, it's not easy.
Most
it's not
people,
easy. I feel like if you can stay in your father's house, stay. Stay. It's not easy. If I had the honest truth is, if I had family in Lagos, I might not be living alone.
Okay. So I want to go straight to Mrs. Oyibadijo. Same. Do you have the same thing to say about this?
I agree.
Completely. Okay. Maggie?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, I'm just going to say that I agree very much with Maggie as well. It's important because parents and children, they have places in each other's lives.
Yes.
And will always be connected for as long as it takes. Exactly.
I agree as well.
Sorry, mommy's food is always mommy's food. It's the ultimate, right?
And they say, no matter how far you go, remember the road that leads you home.
Oh, yeah.
This is how
we had
Bode Thomas
taken.
part of the song.
You can say Bode Thomas. So I'm just going to say that we've taken a very unfortunate and very horrible incident, and we've made a very good argument around it.
Yeah.
Balancing the entire story and making people understand.
Here for it. I'm
Yes,
totally
yes,
here
yes.
for it. When we
Definitely.
come back from this break, we'll have a lot more interesting topics to debate about. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.